It's been a bit of time since I posted. I'm working from home today, and while I wait for the computer to reboot for about the 10th time today, really productive in this age of technology. It must be me. Anyway, you'll know that we did this big walk, and you'll know that I'm quite passionate. Well, I think I am anyway. And I go on and on and on. I know I can bore people. But yeah, just before we went on the walk, 23rd of May, we lost Alison. She died. Alison was a lady that we'd been visiting in hospital since October. She went in, she was admitted on September the 10th, and Annie and I visited her every weekend for 7.5 months. We went every Saturday or Sunday, and then one of us would probably go up during the week. We did her washing for her so that she had clean clothes, and yeah, and we fought for her. So in December 2025, the hospital said that she was fit for discharge back to the hostel that she was admitted from. That wasn't a good idea, because for all intents and purposes, Alison was drug-free. She hadn't taken any illicit substances since 10th of September, and coming out back to the hostel environment, she would have been a goner. She'd have been dead. I know that. I know it. So I spoke to the hostel manager, and he backed me, and so we fought. Boy, have we fought. So January, February, March, April, fit for discharge, but there was no appropriate pathways for her, housing pathways for her to go to. There was no other hostels that were abstinent, drug-free. There was one which we did refer into, and she had an interview, but it was deemed that her health issues were too high for her to go there. And I understand that. And we also referred her 4 times into Mildmay Mission Hospital, which is a specialist hospital for people that are homeless, that have finished detox, and they can have an 8-week stay. It's like a convalescence, which I know, and many of my professional colleagues know, would have been an appropriate setting for her, but I don't know the reasons. It was a complicated referral pathway. She's not tier 1, she's tier 2. She's not tier 2, she's tier 1. And the commissioner's saying it wasn't the funding. I beg to differ. But anyway, I was going to hand in my resignation. I was ready to walk, because I've just had enough of the bureaucracy, and I had enough of seeing our patient getting treated the way she did on ward. People becoming apathetic with her. She was, she'd outstayed her welcome, and I've seen it before. One of our patients a couple of years ago, there was no appropriate pathway for her, and she actually died on a commode on ward. And I could just see this happening again, so that's why I fought and fought and fought. Anyway, cut a long story short, because I can go on the 29th of April, Alison was finally accepted to Mildmay. She had a housing exit plan. Westminster City Council had a brand new flat lined up for her, accommodation that was going to give her additional support, which is what she needed when she goes into Mildmay. 29th of April, Annie and I went with her. We unpacked her clothes. She was really happy. We'd got her back in contact with her son, who was visiting her in hospital since December. So yeah, she was focused on remaining abstinent and doing well. She just wanted to do well. So Annie and I got up to visit her. We rocked up, I think it was Sunday the 17th or 18th. Rock up, bowl into her room. It wasn't there. Staff come running. Oh, what are you doing? Who are you? She's not here. She's been rushed to hospital on Friday. It's like, well, what do you mean? She's been rushed to hospital. No one's told us. We haven't been informed. We're from her GP. She's at Royal Free. So Annie and I hot-footed it up to Royal Free. Didn't know what to expect. When we got there, she was in intensive care and linked up to life support machine. She was intubated and looked really, really poorly. So had a little chat with her, hung around, gave our number, and then for that week we contacted the hospital every day. Anyway, on Saturday the 23rd, 2 days before our walk, we got a phone call from her son to say that Mum's not going to make it. She's not going to make it through the weekend. So he said, maybe come up. Yeah, please do. So Annie and I immediately went to the hospital. As we got to the hospital, we got a phone call from her son to say that she just passed away. So, getting to the lift, she was on the 15th floor, and the lifts there are like just really hard to manage. Again, age of technology. Anyway, when we eventually got up to the 15th floor, there was a young man coming in as we was coming out, and I just knew it was her son. And we kind of like just hugged. Didn't have words really, but we went to see Alison and we said our goodbye. And he was a lot braver than me. I couldn't do it for more than 30 seconds. I had to leave. Anyway, it's her funeral next Friday. We get to say goodbye. Last Thursday, it was Peter's funeral. Peter was another patient that was incredibly talented. He used to make these figures out of corkscrews, champagne corks, not corkscrews, corks. And yeah, I rocked up at his funeral because I've known him for around 20 years. And another member of staff, Lorna, came from St Mungo's. And yeah, and he used to say, and I'll always remember, I'm gonna go now, see you soon, baby girl. So yeah, we've lost a lot of patients this year, especially in March. We lost 6 patients back to back. So to date, we're in June and we've lost 9 patients since March to now. So yeah, spare a thought and just have a little bit of understanding of why I am passionate, and I really, we need to get this housing project off the ground. This housing project would be for people like our Alison that didn't have to sit in hospital for 4 months waiting for an appropriate pathway. We would have been that appropriate pathway. Anyway, I'm going to sign off and just thank you all again for following us, supporting us. If you can donate, please do. Share us with your friends and family. Yeah, and please put your comments in, because without you, without your support, without your awareness, we're not going to get any further. You know, it's just going to be the big charities getting the money and our people still remaining on the streets, in hostels where they can take drugs, where they can't break the cycle. I promise that when I get this housing project up and running, they will break the cycle. Anyway, peace. Thank you for listening. Bye for now.